Good evening, I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Rick Chambers. Micah has this night off.
Following a week of ICE raids and anti-ICE protests this afternoon, an unusual sight in Westwood as Marines began patrolling outside the federal building where they reportedly detained one civilian. Ahead of this weekend's No King's Day protest, the Army Major General says those Marines will not participate in law enforcement activities during the demonstrations.
As this week of protests and debate and political theater come to an end finally, we're joined by political analyst Matt Klink tonight. Give us your take on the federalization of the National Guard.
Well, look, it's obviously very controversial. It's an issue where Karen Bass and Governor Newsom have been very emotional and anti the federal deployment. Sure. On the federal side, though, on Donald Trump's side, it's his job to defend federal property. He sees that neither of them were defending the buildings downtown nor in West LA, and it's his job to keep them safe. And sadly, while this policy might be unpopular in California, it is popular nationally, just not in blue states.
So this week in particular has been become a brawl between President Trump and Governor Newsom. The two, as we all know, often go head to head, and Newsom working to Trump-proof the state. You know, that's one of his things, and then of course Trump calling him new scum. And there's, you know, it goes back and forth. Who do you think benefits from this kind of feud the most?
Sure, they both do. Gavin Newsom rises to the top of someone who was standing up to Donald Trump. He got nothing but criticism by moving to the middle. He realizes that he's going to get more accolades in the Democratic Party by attacking Donald Trump.
Right.
And Donald Trump attacking California or attacking New York or attacking Boston, it's a winner for him with his base. So they both have incentives to keep this feud going.
What do you think about former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger getting involved in this, saying Republicans and Democrats just can't agree on any good immigration ideas?
He's absolutely right. I mean, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger was minimally a Republican when he was in the governor's chair. But he is right. Ultimately, this is something that Congress needs to solve. The problem is the Democrats want amnesty, and we don't even know how many people are in this country illegally. Right. And the Republicans want border security and no amnesty, and anybody who compromises gets run over.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear the former governor, if you will, say that about how the Republicans and Democrats are using immigration as a way really to raise money, when they're saying it's your fault, whatever it might be. And then, their supporters are saying, oh, I support that, and donate.
It's a knee-jerk issue that the base on both sides, they are rabid for, and they will fight, as we've seen in the streets, unfortunately. Sure. We will see it. We will see them fight and squabble.
Yeah, when you talk to people out in the neighborhoods, they're wondering what happened to that. We're going to go out and get the violent criminals, and now we're seeing people at car washes and stuff. Do you think that's hitting the Trump administration or the Newsom administration in an adverse way?
Well, people have selective memories. Let's not forget.
No.
He said that they were going to go after the criminal illegal aliens first. If you are in this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You have broken the law. Many of these people have deportation orders, and it ramps up to another level. So I don't think they should be going after them first, but you have right now Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass defending felon illegal aliens who have killed or done horrible things to Americans. I mean, it's not a good look. But what about
the people that we have in the report with Alina Abovian who have passports in their back pocket that are Americans?
Totally wrong, and it needs to be fixed. It's disgusting. And it's horrid. And those people, if they were wrongly detained, I guarantee you there will be a lawyer that will be around to help them. And again, this is the Los Angelinos and Californians have a different perspective on illegal immigration than does most of the rest of the United States that voted for Trump.
We always appreciate it when you come in. We're going to talk to you a little bit later on the show.
Yes.
So if you can hang here in the studio, we'll get back to you in a few.
You got it.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you. Back now with political analyst Matt Klink, and as we look at these retaliatory attacks tonight, what do we see here? Are we on the brink of a larger conflict?
Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that these attacks will go on as long as they're needed. And look, Israel was strategic in what they did, and they were scalpel-like. They went in with great precision and took out IRGC leadership and nuclear sites. Iran wasn't. They just casually launched 3 barrages of ballistic missiles. Thankfully, only 1 Israeli has died so far, and not that many were injured yet. But again, it's not a, this is going to be it could be a long war. Although I have to tell you that Bibi Netanyahu was very direct in talking to the Iranian people and said, now's the time to overthrow your government. And they are weak right now. And the Ayatollah is not a young man. He should take up Donald Trump's offer and try to cut a peace deal, or he may not have power much longer.
Now, Washington said earlier that it did not actively take part in this, but then we heard that they knew that it was coming. Was there some sort of movement behind the scenes to get Iran to kind of drop its focus on things and then hit them?
Well, it sounds like it was a great ruse that when they said that the Trump administration was telling Bibi to hold back and that the Americans and the Israelis were squabbling. But no, I mean, look, the Americans, they've come to Israelis' defense, which we did the last time. The Israelis don't need our help to attack Iran. They've proven to be very successful. And in fact, they were launching another wave tonight. Yeah. So, I mean, again, the Israelis are on the offensive. I would not want to be the Iranian leadership. But again, when you're train your people for 40 years that Israel is the great Satan, it's pretty tough to compromise.
You know, but, you know, Iran also came out today saying that America was behind this as well. Everybody knows that America and Israel are allies and that, you know, Bibi doesn't work alone. Yeah. You know, when we hear something like that coming, you know, from media, all sorts of media, that this is what Iran's leadership has said, you know, it makes a lot of people very worried about what's next.
It should, and thankfully Trump largely, at least if you judge him by his first term and the first 140 days of his second term, he's largely been a man of peace, but he has also walked the walk and talked the talk. He took out Soleimani, the IRGC, before he said, you have 60 days to come to a deal. Yesterday was day 61. So if Iran was smart, they would get back around that negotiating table with Donald Trump and his team and be serious this time, because they may not have a nuclear program to negotiate for. Give it another week. So
in the next week or so, what's the U.S. role? Do we get actively involved in all of this?
If American soldiers are targeted or if American assets get hit, absolutely we'll get involved. And then Iran will be outclassed by 2 world-class military powers.
But do we worry about other people getting in behind Iran?
Well,
like
Soviet Union. Soviet Union or North Korea.
They've got their own problems.
I don't think, they have larger problems. But I would say, you mean like the Houthis or Hamas or Hezbollah? Israel's already largely taken them out of play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has been part of a long-term plan for Israel, and they finally reached the point where that nuclear threat from Iran was so real that they couldn't let it pass.
All right.
Matt,
very
thanks
good.
for coming in.
Thank you.
Always good to hear
Nice
what you have to say.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
More of your top headlines. Those are coming up on the KTLA 5 News here at 7 o'clock.
We'll be right back.